Bundle branch block is not a rhythm disorder. The heart rate may be completely normal. Every P wave may still be followed by a QRS complex. And yet, something is not right. Because even though the electrical impulse reaches the ventricles, it does not travel through them the way it is supposed to. Under normal conditions, once an impulse passes through the AV node, it enters the His-Purkinje system and rapidly divides into two specialized pathways, the right bundle branch and the left bundle branch. These pathways allow both ventricles to depolarize at the same time, producing a narrow, sharp QRS complex. This precise timing is what makes ventricular contraction efficient. In bundle branch block, one of these pathways fails to conduct normally. The impulse is not stopped. It is delayed. One ventricle is activated on time, the other ventricle has to wait, and is activated indirectly, spreading cell by cell through myocardium instead of the fast conduction system. This delay changes the entire pattern of ventricular activation, and the ECG shows it immediately. The most important ECG feature of bundle branch block is a wide QRS complex, greater than 120 milliseconds. A wide QRS tells you that ventricular depolarization is slow. The electrical impulse is taking the long route. Once you identify a wide QRS, the next question becomes critical. Which bundle is blocked? Let's begin with right bundle branch block. In right bundle branch block, the left bundle branch is functioning normally. The left ventricle depolarizes first. Only afterward does the impulse spread slowly to the right ventricle. This delayed right ventricular activation produces characteristic ECG findings. In the right precordial lids, especially V1 and V2, the QRS complex often has an RSR prime pattern, an M-shaped appearance. This represents initial septal activation, followed by left ventricular activation, and then delayed right ventricular depolarization. The QRS complex is wide, and in the lateral leads, there is often a broad, slurred S wave, showing W-shaped appearance. Remember RBBB as MaRRoW. Together, these findings define right bundle branch block. Clinically, right bundle branch block is often seen in healthy individuals and may cause no symptoms at all. It can also be associated with conditions that place strain on the right ventricle, such as pulmonary embolism, pulmonary hypertension, or chronic lung disease. So while right bundle branch block is frequently benign, it is never meaningless. Now contrast this with left bundle branch block. In left bundle branch block, the situation is far more serious. Here, the left ventricle, the main pumping chamber of the heart, is the one that is activated late. The impulse travels down the right bundle branch first, activates the right ventricle, and then spreads slowly across the septum to the left ventricle. This completely reverses the normal sequence of ventricular activation. And the ECG reflects this dramatically. In the lateral leads, lids 1, a VL, V5, and V6, the QRS complex has become broad, slurred, and often notched, showing M-shaped appearance. Normal Q waves disappear. In the right precordial leads, especially V1, the QRS complex becomes predominantly negative, often appearing as a deep, wide QS or RS complex, showing W-shaped appearance. Remember LBBB as William. But the changes do not stop there. Because depolarization is abnormal, repolarization also becomes abnormal. ST segments and T waves are distorted and typically move in the opposite direction of the major QRS deflection. This pattern is called discordance. This is not ischemia. It is a consequence of delayed ventricular activation. And this is why left bundle branch block is so clinically important. In the presence of left bundle branch block, myocardial ischemia and infarction cannot be reliably diagnosed using standard ECG criteria. ST elevation and depression lose their usual meaning. This makes left bundle branch block a dangerous mask. And it leads directly to the most important clinical question. When is bundle branch block just an ECG finding? And when is it a warning sign of serious heart disease? To understand the true significance of bundle branch block, you must look beyond the ECG pattern itself and focus on what it represents clinically. Bundle branch block is not a diagnosis, It is a sign of abnormal ventricular conduction, and its importance depends on three things: which bundle is blocked, whether the block is new or chronic, and what else is happening in the heart. Right and left bundle branch block may both widen the QRS, but they are not equal in meaning. Right bundle branch block is often incidental. Many patients with isolated right bundle branch block are asymptomatic and have no structural heart disease. It may be seen in healthy individuals, athletes, or as a stable, long-standing finding. However, right bundle branch block can also appear in conditions that acutely or chronically strain the right ventricle, such as pulmonary embolism, pulmonary hypertension, or chronic lung disease. In those situations, the ECG finding is a clue, not the problem itself. Left bundle branch block is different. Left bundle branch block almost always suggests underlying cardiac disease. It is commonly associated with cardiomyopathy, long-standing hypertension, coronary artery disease, or valvular heart disease. When left bundle branch block is present, especially if it is new, you must assume structural heart disease until proven otherwise. A new-onset left bundle branch block in a patient with chest pain or dyspnea is a red flag, because left bundle branch block distorts ST segments and T waves. Acute myocardial ischemia may be hidden. In these cases, the ECG alone is not enough. Clinical symptoms, cardiac biomarkers, and imaging guide decision-making, not the ECG pattern by itself. It is also critical to distinguish bundle branch block from atrioventricular block. In bundle branch block, atrioventricular conduction is intact. Every atrial impulse still reaches the ventricles. The problem is delay, not absence of conduction. This is very different from complete heart block, where atrial and ventricular activity are completely dissociated. Because conduction is preserved, bundle branch block does not usually cause profound bradycardia. But it can cause ventricular dyssynchrony. When the ventricles contract out of sync, cardiac efficiency falls. In patients with underlying heart failure or cardiomyopathy, this dyssynchrony can significantly worsen symptoms. Patients may develop fatigue, shortness of breath, reduced exercise tolerance, or worsening heart failure, particularly with left bundle branch block. Treatment of bundle branch block is not about fixing the ECG. There is no medication that reverses a bundle branch block. Management focuses on identifying and treating the underlying cause: ischemia, hypertension, cardiomyopathy, valvular disease, or heart failure. The most important mindset with bundle branch block is this: the ECG tells you how the ventricles are being activated. It does not tell you why. Right bundle branch block is often benign but not meaningless. Left bundle branch block is rarely innocent. Both represent delayed ventricular conduction. Both widen the QRS, but only one consistently signals serious underlying heart disease. Recognize the pattern, interpret it correctly, and always ask the most important question: what is causing this conduction delay? Because that is where real diagnosis, real management, and real clinical decision-making begin. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to like the video and leave a comment below. We read your feedback closely, and it directly influences the future content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification so you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.